By the end of this video, you are going to have a climatic moment on just how much wealth you created this year. And for a lot of people, I think this past year and this new year will just be happy new fear. But for you, it's time to pop champagne like it's a new year. So let's recap what happened this year and then try to quantify or tally up just how much wealth you built this past year. Hi, I'm Keith Weinhold. This is Get Rich Education. Here at GRE, I have spent more than 7 years helping you build a nationwide rental real estate portfolio. And maybe somewhere along the way, you've updated your LinkedIn profile with the title Real Estate Investor. You might have even had one friend gently ask you to stop talking about how leverage trumps compound interest or stop touting the inflation triple crown. Yes, you are winning the game of plutology. Do you know what plutology means? Yeah, plutology is basically the study of wealth. Closing out this past year, you have a lot of reasons to celebrate. Namely, about 20% year-over-year property price growth, and now a new American homeowner equity record of $294,000.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Now, although we're cash flow centric here, you've got to understand that most of real estate's net worth gains actually come from that equity, because you do have that leverage. Equity, of course, which is the value of your property owned minus the number of mortgage dollars that you still owe, that constitutes 2 of real estate's 5 profit centers, both appreciation and tenant-made principal paydown. And by the way, I built a free course for you about the 5 ways that real estate pays. If you haven't seen it yet, that is instructive. That makes the light bulb go off, and that makes you finally think, my gosh, now I understand why real estate is that vehicle that's made more ordinary people wealthy than anything else. That's a free 5-part video course. Hey, go ahead and put a like on this if you like what we're talking about, if you like being that optimist, being that actionable real estate investor. Now, before the confetti drops and we tally up your wealth here, last year, 2021, certainly was not a great year for everyone. President Joe Biden was sworn in on January 20th, and he actually has achieved a number of the objectives that he wanted to, like signing a bipartisan infrastructure bill into law and overseeing a fast economic recovery. But yet, on July 4th, Joe Biden declared that America had achieved independence from COVID-19. Whoops, that ain't quite right, because in 2021, there were more deaths from COVID than there were back in 2020. Yes, it was the second full year of the pandemic last year, and you know, each time we seem to make progress on this, it seems like a new variant pops up to check our progress. Vaccine mandates became more polarizing than cilantro or raw onions. But there are more promising signs overall. Quarantine times are being reduced. The era of economic lockdowns largely, if not fully, seems to be over. COVID pills sound promising. High inflation was the economic story that marked last year more so than any other. Just what about this commercial for Subway $5 footlongs? $5 Remember that familiar jingle? I think that only applied to a few different sandwich types, but when you go to Subway and you buy your sub, think about how much you're paying now compared to $5. That's a quick and dirty inflation measure. Supply chain disruptions, I think that they were best represented by those long lines of cargo ships that you would see waiting outside the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, California. The work from home trend made the phrase "okay boomer" less popular than "okay Zoomer" as the work from home trend really picked up steam. And this high demand for residential property is one big reason why you are a huge profiteer over this past year. Mortgage loan forbearance and eviction moratoriums unwound. And you know, those things aren't as bad as most lay people think. As real estate investors, we often know that a tenant had to specifically document that they had lost their job and income due to COVID in order to get any relief relief at all. They could still be evicted for almost any other reason, and I own properties in multiple states, and I had very little impact from the eviction moratorium. This will likely all transition from a pandemic into an endemic, and everyone can kind of enjoy talking about those things again that we talked about before the pandemic. And like, what were those things even? It's been 2 years. It's almost difficult to remember what that world was even like. So let's get back to the real estate party. And as a successful real estate investor, you may very well be in a better position to give back to those less fortunate. And in fact, that's probably better said in some circumstances, that you're able to give back to those people that have been less intentional than you have been about building your wealth through the most historically proven way of doing it, real estate investing. If you've been following my financially free beats debt-free plan, you understand that the path to you being financially free is not getting debt-free, it's building your cash flow. You are expanding your means rather than living below them. A lot of people, they really live the life of their fears, and you're living the life of your dreams when you take action and grow your portfolio. So here we go. Nationally, in the past year, there has been $56,700 worth of equity growth per property on average. And now there are an awful lot of ways that you can slice that, but let's do it this way with a national map showing state by state homeowner equity growth. As you look across this map to see where the year over year equity growth was, income properties tend to be lower priced and in more affordable states there in the Midwest and South. So perhaps it's something like more of a $30,000 average equity growth for each one of your income properties. So as you look at this map, tally up your wins. That is the homeowner equity growth through the latest quarter that figures were reported for by state. Hey, go ahead and put a like on this if you haven't already. If you like this idea of tallying up your wealth, your equity growth from real estate investing over the past year. And sure, more equity has made your net worth balloon handsomely last year, 2021. And you know, in a sense, it's kind of unusual to mark your wealth with equity because equity is illiquid. And as I have long taught you, your return from home equity is always zero. And inflation debases your equity at the same time. Of course, you'd still rather have the equity than nothing because you can convert your equity into cash flow with 1031 exchanges and cash out refinances tax-free. That is the financial freedom formula after all. So it is important to look back and celebrate from the property that you bought through Get Rich Education's network here. The late Nelson Mandela put it really simply. He said, remember to celebrate the milestones as you prepare for the road ahead. Some people are fearful about ever getting started in real estate investing, which is something that really moves the meter in your life once you do. And for them, I think it's going to be another happy new fear. For you, it is Happy New Year, an active, engaged real estate investor. I am going to celebrate by going to Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands pretty soon. However you do it, congratulations to you. Hey, I'll talk to you on next Monday's audio podcast. Yes, the Get Rich Education podcast. Coming up, we have Tom Wheelwright coming alongside me for an episode where we're going to talk about property tax. And for the first time ever, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency tax. And then the following Monday, the president of the Mises Institute is going to be here with me, and we're going to help you build wealth for yourself. I'm Keith Weinhold. Thanks for being here, but you weren't here for me. You were here for you. I'll catch you on the next Get Rich Education podcast.